Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to go over my Trial of the Ancestors plans and my potential League starter builds for each Ascendancy class, which you will be able to vote on to add weighting to each choice, just as I did last league. So if you're confused by what's going on here, last league I went through every Ascendancy in the game and I picked a build idea for each Ascendancy class, allowed you all to vote in the comments of the video, and then once the league started, I shuffled, spun the wheel, and that is what Ascendancy class I will league start on in solo self-found ancestor. So I've got a whole new slate of builds. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I know I have viewers who would like to see me make this crazy build, go take down Ubers. I also have viewers who want me to suffer to the extreme. So there are options for all of that, and pretty much I'm going to continue what I've been doing on this channel pretty much all year, is trying to tinker with things I have not messed around with inside of Path of Exile. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to use Path of Building here and go through it. Start with Raider. Raider is my go-to league start class if I were to play anything. I think Fire Trap Raider is really strong. I think Caustic Arrow, Toxic Rain is really strong. You can do with a Raider. But if you vote for Raider, you will be voting for something that looks like this, and I am going to play Ice Trap. So if I start Raider, go in Ice Trap, it's going to push me really heavily into Incursion really early on so that I can try and get a pair of gloves that will convert cast speed into trap throwing speed and then make a very fast Ice Trap throwing build. I think Ice Trap will be really solid at handling the league mechanic, and that is something I would like to do. So that's what we've got for Raider. For Pathfinder, the plan is to go for Explosive Concoction. Maybe mastering with this Master Distiller node, which can give a bunch of extra crit chance or penetrate elemental resistances if you have a Bismuth Flask. So maybe something like this, and grabbing Master Surgeon for the Life Flask cannot queue. I haven't messed with Explosive Concoction. Poisonous Concoction would definitely be a really solid league starter on Pathfinder, but I want to mess with Explosive Concoction. So if you vote for Pathfinder in the comments of this video, I will be trying to go for Explosive Concoction. Now for Deadeye. With Deadeye, I'm going to create a replica of a build I played last league, which is Spectral Throw. I played it in the BPL event. I highly would recommend this as a league starter. I know this would be a very strong build, as Spectral Throw getting a lot of extra projectiles from Endless Munitions, as well as this multi-shot node, makes it very, very enticing early on. I'm absolutely positive I could take this really far, and I played 2 Deadeyes last league, so here I'm putting one of the more meta options. Next, we have Shadow. And Shadow as well, I am also going to go for Ice Trap, as I think it's going to be really spicy. I've never played Ice Trap either, so I think this would look something like this right here. Messing with Ice Trap, trying to get the extra elemental penetration from Explosives Expert, lots of recovery from using traps, big trap area of effect. And this one, I wouldn't have to get those gloves, as there's good trap nodes here. So for Saboteur, another Ice Trap build. Now, if you say, I want you to play Saboteur, but I want you to play with trigger bots instead of doing Ice Trap, that is going to be a vote for the build that I have selected for Saboteur. So if you have another suggestion for a build, that's fine. You're welcome to throw it out there. But the Ascendancy class in the comment will be what votes for adding to my wheel. Next up is Trickster. Trickster, I have the same build idea I had last time, which is going to be a Soul Rend with Essence Drain for single target Trickster, focusing on Energy Shield, maybe even going into CI here if that works out. But the same plan we had last time, but I never got around to playing Trickster, and I've never played a Soul Rend build So that is the plan for the Trickster. And the plan is also the same from last league for the Shadow. I want to play a poison spectral throw dagger throwing build. This one had a little bit of traction last league, but never got around to it. The spectral throw build wound up being the Deadeye, and I played the same kind of idea with the poison spectral shield throw. This would be using spectral throw, trying to hit with daggers, and then probably still go into perfect agony, so the crit multi converts to damage over time multiplier, and we'll have some fun spectral throw action, some plague bearer nonsense going on there. Up next is Witch, and I still to this day have never ascended into a Necromancer in Path of Exile. Not one time have I played a Necromancer. Now, I've played 2 minion builds, both were on Guardian. I've never played a corpse build. And I really also want to play Volatile Dead, but this time we're going a different route. If you vote for Necromancer, I am going to wing it here. I don't even know which ascendancies I would take for this, but I will go into the minion archetype here and send it in this regard. I don't know, like maybe this is what it would end up. I'd have to start feeling things out as I went, but the focus is going to be skeletons, zombies, and specters. And why is because pulling up the trailer for Trial of the Ancestors here, and this is a long shot, I don't know if this is a possibility, but if I can get a specter of this turtle right here on the Necromancer, I am going to make an army of these turtles. And whether it's good, whether it's bad, that is the goal for the Necromancer. I want turtle specters doing whatever it is that they may be able to do. We might not be able to make specters out of these ancestor things. I have hope, but that is the goal there. Next, for Elementalist. This one's a fun one. For Elementalist, I want to make exploding golems. So I think what I have here is something like this, because I think if I take Elemancer, summon golems are immune to elemental damage. So there's also a new skill, a blessing, I guess, that causes minions to take physical damage. So maybe there's something here with Elemancer, but it's kind of planning for a minion instability build. Minions explode when reduced to low life, dealing 33% of their life as fire damage to surrounding enemies. So maybe not this, maybe with Shaper of Flames. I don't know if this will work. This is all hypothetical. Shaper of Flames maybe would allow those explosions to always ignite, and I do big ignites with these golems that should in theory automatically resummon themselves and then just start charging and explode on top of the enemies. This also might be terrible. It might not work at all, but that is the idea here. Going more golem focused on this build and doing more minion-y type things there, probably with a firestorm to supplement if I need to do damage myself there. Or Occultist. I played an Occultist last league that was playing with Impending Doom like this with Shavs. This league, I am going to do something different with an Occultist. I want to play Wintertide Brand. Do cold dots here, grab Void Beacon, Frigid Wake, and then be able to explode enemies that have curses on them, get additional curses and whatnot, and make a Wintertide Brand build. I have played Wintertide Brand on an Occultist before, something I did very, very long time ago, but I do have brands kind of on the brain as I would like to really play a brand build, so that is the choice for Occultist. Wintertide Brand. Next up is the Guardian. The Guardian got completely reworked this league. Now, Guardian's in a strange place in solo self-found, as Radiant Faith, Unwavering Faith seem to really be in line with this like aura stacking mana guardian kind of thing. Harmony of Purpose is giving benefits to linking to targets. So all of this top section seems kind of geared towards party play. So that leaves Time of Need, Bastion of Hope, which is insane attack and spell block now. Radiant Crusade gives a Sentinel of Radiance, and then Unwavering Crusade gives a level 20 Summon Elemental Relic. Now, we have gotten to see what these do. Summon Elemental Relic summons a relic of a random element that stays near you, depending on the element chosen. That relic minion will have an Anger, Hatred, or Wrath aura, and these relics explode when they die. So, this is a way to get Anger, Hatred, and Wrath added to the build. And I still don't know exactly what to do with that. As well as this Sentinel of Radiance. Minion deals fire damage equal to 30% of its maximum life per second to enemies in a base radius. So that means it's like a Righteous Fire minion that you have. So there's a lot of strange things going on. So the only thing to do is experiment with it. I did Absolution last time, so this time I think I would go more into like a Dominating Blow and try the other side of that on the attack-based things, but still trying to work in attacking and casting recently, getting Smite for additional minions and whatnot. I'm not too eager, if I'm being completely honest, to mess with the Guardian, but that is the plan. Dominating Blow and playing with the new Ascendancy notes. Hierophant, I played last league making an Archmage Lightning Conduit build. This time I want to play Armageddon Brand. So another brand option, another build that I have not played. I've done Storm Brand, I've done Wintertide Brand, but I've never done Armageddon Brand. So the choice for Hierophant this go around will be Armageddon Brand off of League Start. And I also know this will go really far, will clear maps very well, and we'll send that there. For Inquisitor, the plan here is to mess with the new Spellblade support gem. Spellblade supports spells that hit enemies and cannot modify the skills of minions. And you can use any one-handed melee weapon, it seems. So you can still use scepters and things for this. The idea is to mess with Consecrated Path for a melee attack and Firestorm for a spell attack. So if I have a one-handed melee weapon, I can do Conc Path as an attack, and then I have the spell with the Firestorm. This would allow me to use Instruments of Virtue and Instruments of Zeal, getting Fanatic charges here, and then Augury of Penitence seems like it would be good. And then I'd probably go into Sanctuary for the Consecrated Ground. I don't know that I would go into crit-based things here. I really want to mess with the Battle Mage, Instruments of Virtue, and things there. And extra stacking there by using Battle Mage and the Spellblade support gem. So I like the idea of that Consecrated Path with Firestorm alternating back and forth between different spells for fanaticism. Seems like it should be fun. For the Chieftain. Chieftain got completely reworked this time, and there's all kinds of new stuff in here, stuff that seems pretty strange. I wasn't exactly sure what I would do with this, but I think what I will do is I'm going to play Molten Strike using Tukahama War's Herald to support gems from my body armor with Ancestral Call, so then I can get a 7-link out of a 6-link body armor, and then we'll be super tanky with Valakos Storm's Embrace and try to make that work, and also work in another new support gem here called Controlled Blaze, which gives supported skills a chance to ignite, and each supported skill deals more damage with ignite for each ignite inflicted with it recently. And if there's lots of balls hitting the enemy, you might be able to ramp up those ignites and then get way more damage with the ignites, and that seems like it could be fun to mess with, and it'll get something going on the new Chieftain. For Berserker, another skill I have not messed with is Earth Shatter. Earth Shatter has some synergies with War Cries, so go Warbringer here, and then definitely Crave the Slaughter, maybe Aspect of Carnage, maybe even to the Blitz charges. I'm not sure there, the big focus here is going to be Earth Shatter, use War Cries, as well as a new Warcry support gem called Corrupting Cry. So this will link to Warcry, and it will inflict corrupted blood on enemies that are affected by that Warcry, as well as when they're hit by an attack exerted by the Warcry from the Corrupting Cry. So there's extra incentive to use the Warcries to explode the little fissures from the Earth Shatter skill, and I think that could be fun. Or Juggernaut. I don't know what the Ascendancy actually looks like here, but the plan here is to use the new Trauma support gem with Infernal Blow. Trauma is kind of the underlying workings of the Bone Shatter skill. This allows you to apply the same scaling to other skills. So I would like to use this with Infernal Blow. Infernal Blow can stack up charges on enemies and causes them to explode and whatnot. So I will see if I can make something work with trauma support there. I haven't played a Juggernaut in a very long time, and I know Juggernaut works well with Bone Shatter, so there might be really good synergy with the trauma support there. So, for Juggernaut, Trauma, Infernal Blow. Next, we have the Scion, and the Scion is an interesting one because someone came into my chat while I was live streaming before Exile Con and said something about a self-cast Exsanguinate build that they had played in, I think, 3.18. So me and Mohica have talked a little bit about this, and I've been heavily recommended not to League Start this build. But should I League Start an Ascendant, I will be playing a self-cast Exsanguinate, maybe with some Reap. I don't know what the other even Ascendancy I go for here is. Maybe something, maybe even Berserker. It's extra damage. Finding the damage on the Fizz dot skills is a little bit rough, but there's a lot of options here. I only know Gladiator is a must for the more physical damage over time, and we get extra block there. So that is the plan. I'm going to have to wing it as I do everything else, but the plan is go Exsanguinate, but self-cast it. Don't use traps or anything there. So we'd have to see how that goes. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. And lastly, our duelists. So this time for Gladiator, I think I would play a bleed bow build, trying to maybe use mana forged arrows with a puncture, if that's something that even works. I don't know. I guess Outmatch, Outlast doesn't work there if you're trying to use a bow build. I don't know. I really do not like the Gladiator Ascendancy. It's probably my least favorite of any of them, but there is the extra physical damage over time, bleeding enemies you kill explode, chance to cause bleeding, do some kind of bleed bow thing, maybe with Rain of Arrows and a puncture. Maybe even throwing in some shockwave totems to force enemies to have to run around there. For champion, I want to play with Impale and Steel skills. I've never done anything with the Steel skills before, not really used them. So the idea here is to mess with Impale and these Steel skills. And it's even been hinted at in my Discord that there might be some play with the returning projectiles support gem that goes well with the Steel skills. I don't know what that is or would do, but that is the plan for champion. There's a lot of things you can do with champion, but I want to continue pushing into things I haven't explored as the Steel skills. I don't know what the last Ascendancy here would be. Maybe First to Strike, Last to Fall. Maybe Inspirational for some extra banner nonsense. Because I know Dread Banner works nicely with Impales. But that is the plan there. Splitting Steel, Shattering Steel, Lancing Steel, whatever kind of fits what I've got going on there. That will be the plan for champion. And then lastly, there is the Slayer. I think for Slayer, I want to do the exact same thing I would do on a Juggernaut. and play a trauma-based Infernal Blow. Infernal Blow is something I was thinking about messing with last time. Maybe I'd have to work something out here because you're going to need melee splash with it so you can get big AoE on that. But impact here, giving lots of accuracy, melee strike range, area of effect. I think this could be very strong. Get a bunch of endurance charges, frenzy charges, and go ham with some Infernal Blow. And that is all of the Ascendancies. So, as far as the league goal goes, I think it is going to be fairly easy this league, or easier than it has been in the past, to farm Maven. And the goal for me this league is to farm an Echo Forge. Now, if that means I have to farm Uber Maven, I will farm Uber Maven and go for Echo Forge and then build something with that. That is my goal for the league. Last league, it was to try and farm a Lionized Glare Bow so I could make some crazy nonsense with a Slayer by bumping the base crit chance of that bow, but wound up not being able to get it. The same could happen farming Maven. It could take hundreds of attempts, but if you can spawn 3 Maven influenced enemies in a single map, now it could be really easy to turn over those 10-way Maven encounters and do something with that. So that will be the plan and the goal for me. But with that, let me know in the comments which of the Ascendancies you would like to see. It's kind of all over the place, right? Like Ice Trap Raider, Explosive Concoction Pathfinder, Spectral Throw Deadeye, Ice Trap Saboteur, Soul Rend Essence Drain Trickster, the Perfect Agony Poison Spectral Throw Assassin, Necromancer with the idea of making an army of Turtle Specters from the new League mechanic, Elementalist Minion Instability, Golemancer, Wintertide Brand Occultist, Dominating Blow Guardian, Armageddon Brand Hierophant, Inquisitor using Conk Path and Firestorm with Spellblade. Oros Sacrifice would not work there because it has to be a one-handed weapon. Chieftain, Controlled Blaze, Molten Strike, Berserker, Earth Shatter with Corrupting Cry, Juggernaut, Trauma, Infernal Blow, Self-Cast, Insanguinate, Ascendant, Bleed, Bow, Puncture, Gladiator, Steel Skills, Impale, Champion, or a Trauma, Infernal Blow, Slayer. So, pulling up the last video here, there were 92 comments last time. Now, once my client starts patching for the upcoming league, I will stop the votes on this and I will start tallying what you all vote for in the comments of this video. And then once the queue to log into the game starts going, I will have all of your little wedges to this wheel to weight it, and I will shuffle it, and while the queue is going down, spin it as I did last league, and whatever happens, I will play it as I have described here in this video, and we will go. And that's exactly what happened last time. 3 people voted for Volcanic Fissure Totem's Chieftain, and I played Volcanic Fissure Totem's Chieftain off of the league start. No practice, no planning, just take the idea and send it as I do. But that is all I have for this one. Again, let me know in the comments what you would like to see me play. I'm excited for Trial of the Ancestors and to continue messing with fun stuff in Path of Exile, and I will see you then. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon just below the video, or by joining to become a member. And I'll see y'all in Trial of the Ancestors. Cheers.